Hey, welcome everyone to the Inside Scoop with AARP Indiana. I'm Addison Pollock, Director of Community Engagement, joined by my fellow Director of Community Engagement, Emily Gorman. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Excited to be here in our new studio
Yes.
that we're excited to show everybody.
Feeling great.
With really great new signage. We've got plants. We've got trinkets related to Indiana.
That's right.
We've got all the things.
Yeah, we're feeling good. We're feeling refreshed. Glad to be in person. I think this will be a good thing going forward.
We haven't done this before.
Yeah,
in the flesh.
First time. So just as a reminder, if this is your first time tuning into the Inside Scoop, this is our local engagement, local advocacy, also touching on some federal advocacy issues, video podcast program for you to tune into every month, where Emily and I will jump into the great work that's happening in communities across the state and tell a little bit of the AARP Indiana story along the way.
Yeah, our goal is to highlight that your membership is more than just a membership. We want to show you all the other things that AARP is doing across the state that often don't get talked about or that people don't know about. Our goal is to bring all of that to you. Each month, we're going to do a different topic. I'm excited about this month's topic. But that's the goal. Every month on the fourth Wednesday of the month, we will be here, same time, same place. And if you want to get reminders, and not forget when an episode comes out, please be sure to like and subscribe at our YouTube channel, as well as we'll be on Facebook as well. But these are just quick episodes giving you the inside scoop on what's going on around the state.
That's right. AARP is your wise friend and fierce defender. And this is that with a local focus. So looking forward to it. So anything else?
I don't think so. We're going to talk with our friend from the national office, Rebecca Delphia, and
Yeah, looking forward to that. We're going to have a quick conversation about community challenge grants. So let's get into the Inside Scoop. All right. It is our honor to welcome Rebecca Delphia to the show. Hey, Rebecca, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thanks so much for having me, Addison and Emily.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being here.
Yes, thank you for joining us. As we alluded to previously, Rebecca is the senior advisor with the AARP Livable Communities team with AARP, and we are going to be talking about the Community Challenge Grant. For those who are not familiar, the Community Challenge Grant is a quick action grant program really intended to fund local projects that make communities more livable for people of all ages. Really supposed to be tangible projects that spark long-term change.
Yeah.
As a colleague described it to me, it's typically a project you can take a picture of, which I thought
changes that you can see.
Yes, a great description. But we're excited to have Rebecca on because this year is the 10th anniversary of the program. So
cause for celebration.
Yes, we definitely want to celebrate that today and dig into the significance of that, talk about the goals of the program, and then talk about some favorite projects over the years. So you want to jump right in?
Yeah, Rebecca, we're going to jump right in and let you talk and let us hear from you. I wanted to first start with having you maybe go through some of the goals of the program itself, where it started, and then just talk a little bit about the impact and the hopes for these community challenge grants.
That sounds great. And again, thank you so much for having me on the Inside Scoop. It's such a pleasure to be here and get to talk to some of your viewers. And I'm joining from our Livable Communities team at AARP. We work with local leaders all around the country, helping them to prepare for the aging of their populations and looking particularly at features like housing, transportation, public spaces, the kind of things that really matter to all of us in our communities, and make sure they work for older adults and people of all ages. One of the key ways we do that is through the Community Challenge Grant Program. So this is a quick action grant program, as you said. We are celebrating our 10-year anniversary, which means that we have funded nearly $25 million in quick action grants to about 2,100 organizations in 1,200 communities. And these are projects that range from maybe a temporary pop-up bike lane to a community garden. It could be a safer crosswalk or a home modification, a mural, lighting, benches. I love the example that you said, things you could take a picture of, things you could see, touch, or feel. And really, oftentimes, it's these very simple solutions that make a community great for people of all ages. These are things that we can all enjoy. So we work directly with nonprofits and local government entities and fund these sort of projects. And we believe that we've directly benefited about 14 million older adults so far. That's about 1 in 10 older adults in the US. So these projects collectively have installed about 55,000 tangible improvements in communities. Again, those sorts of things that when you're walking around your neighborhood or in your community, that really do make your experience better. And as a result, we've also seen our grantees that have been awarded these funds go on not only to complete this wonderful quick action project, but we've seen it translate into even longer term outcomes. So we see about half of our grantees go on to secure additional funding, maybe from a public, a private, a philanthropic source. So really taking that initial investment and making it even bigger. We see about 87% of them go on to overcome barriers, policy and otherwise, and about 100% of them are engaging the community in meaningful ways to help extend their projects. The last thing I'll say is I think obviously volunteers are the lifeblood at AARP. They're such an important part of the way we work. And we've been able to engage about 45,000 volunteers through community challenge projects since the program's inception.
That is amazing. And I think that you just underscored why Community Challenge is one of our favorite programs that we do at AARP. And like hearing you say 1 in 10 older adults have likely been impacted, that's insane.
Yeah.
And so cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's massive. It's massive. Yeah. Thank you so much for going into the scope and the impact of it all. How many projects did you say we funded over the 10 years?
About 2,100 projects nationwide.
2,100.
And I'll actually do a quick plug here, if I may.
Yeah.
For some of your viewers who may be wondering, well, what have you funded in my community? Or maybe they're thinking about a specific project that they might be interested in applying for. We have a wonderful resource. It's called the AARP Livable Communities Map. livablемap.aarp.org. And it's a fabulous tool. So you can actually go on there and you can see each and every one of those 2,100 projects. You can see photographs, you can see descriptions of them, you can find links to different articles or videos, and it's searchable by state, by population size, by category. So if we have piqued the interest of some of your viewers, I hope that they'll take that next step of going over there, checking them out, and seeing what we funded in their community as well.
That's a great
100%.
flag. And you can zoom right in and have a look if like your community and where you live has anything that's been impacted.
I'm pretty pumped. I'm going to check it out after this recording. You know, Rebecca, of 2,100, I know it's asking you a lot, but I wanted to ask, what's 1 or 2 favorite projects that you've kind of, you know, witnessed over the years? You know, what are they? Why are they your favorite? How have they impacted or improved the lives of the 50 plus?
Sure. This is a very tough question. I think this question is kind of like asking who's your favorite child. We love all of our projects.
Yes. Exactly.
So what I'll say is we really do. We funded some amazing work across a range of different issues. One particular project type that I really love are walk audits. So for anyone, I imagine some folks may have heard of them, but if you haven't, walk audits are essentially an activity that anyone can do, either on your own or with a group of community residents, maybe with local leaders, where you go out and you survey a street, the crosswalks, really that sort of built environment infrastructure. What's the experience like of walking around the community? So while you're doing that, you may use worksheets, you may take notes. This is working really well. These things could really use some improvement. This would make it a better pedestrian experience for everyone. I love these projects because they're something that literally anyone can do. You don't need to have a lot of technical know-how. You don't need to have the verbiage. We make the tool very, very accessible. We have a walk audit toolkit on our website. And it's something, again, that communities have used very effectively honestly, both to make changes to their streets, to make them safer, and also to engage the community on issues that matter. We often think of these as kind of an on-ramp to more livable
Mhm.
communities issues.
Absolutely.
We funded about 400 walk audits so far through the
Oh,
Community
wow.
Challenge.
Great.
And these are a great opportunity. We have a current funding opportunity called a capacity building micro grant. These are small grants, they're $2,500 each, but they come with additional support. So they come with
Mhm.
some direct support for the grantee, some AARP resources like our walk audit toolkits to help them carry out the project. So it's a really wonderful way, again, to make a difference in your community. And we've funded several really strong walk audits in Indiana as well.
Yeah. I can't think of a better tool to jumpstart
I know.
change. Like that's all you need right there. It's
We
so
love the
simple.
walk audits
Love
for
it.
sure.
Super cool.
And so on that note, I know you said that you funded some in Indiana, and we've definitely selected some of those grants over the years. Just to give folks some context, every year we get a bunch of applications it's so hard to choose which ones are going to get funded and which ones aren't. But once our review team has made our decision, we then send it up to you guys on the national level to make that final decision. And so over the last 10 years, I wanted to ask you if you've seen any of our Indiana projects that just really stood out to you as you're looking at them and you're reviewing them. Are there any homegrown Indiana ones that you really noticed?
Sure. So we've funded about 40 projects in Indiana to date, totaling
Mhm.
nearly $500,000. And there've been some wonderful projects, as you've said, from safer crosswalks to community gardens, disaster resilience, all across the board. There's one particular project that we funded last year in our 2025 program with the Chatham Arch Neighborhood Association.
Mhm.
This was a pedestrian safety project in Indianapolis. Fabulous project. This one was funded with support from Toyota Motor North America. And they set out to make their streets safer. They had identified some crosswalks that could use improvement and then engaged residents to come up with some solutions. They started with some very temporary sorts of interventions, testing out some things essentially to see what would work. And what they found was that there were significant changes in the driver behavior. Speeding went way down. It
Mhm.
made an immediate difference. And not only that, community members were really energized and excited by the changes. So as a result, this has now becoming part of the city's capital improvement plan. This is going to
Mhm.
become permanent in the coming years. And that's exactly what we hope to do through this program. We want to give that initial spark, create an opportunity for community members to engage on an issue. And what we find is that oftentimes that becomes something that's permanent, that becomes a permanent asset in the community and really leads to that lasting change.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my gosh.
It's one of my favorite highlights from last year. I'm so glad that you chose that one.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Rebecca. That's so cool, and it's great to hear it from you because you've been leading this program over the years, and we just are so grateful for your contributions to it and your support over the years. So thank you so much. I did want to ask, like, did you have anything else you wanted to share? I know that this will come out before the grant application deadline ends. So any plugs you want to make or anything else we haven't touched on?
Sure. Well, first, I'll say to those that have already applied for our 2026 grant
Mhm.
program, and we've received a tremendous response already. Thank you. We are so grateful for that. And for those that haven't, there is still one more week to apply. Applications close on Wednesday, March 4th, at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 4 p.m. Central Time. And we are eager to hear all of your very best ideas for improving your community. We know that oftentimes it's the simple solutions that are best. So no idea is too small. We want to hear them
Mhm.
all. We're really interested to hear from, again, nonprofits and local governments, your best ideas for addressing community challenges and making your community great for people of all ages.
Absolutely. Well,
Awesome.
thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to have you join us today. I feel like it's an honor to have you as we're talking about community challenge grants and we're coming up on the deadline next week. We wanted folks to just recognize and hear from us about why this is so important and so special, and also to serve as we have a lot of people who start filling out their application and then it comes down to the last week, and this hopefully can serve as a reminder to
Yeah.
get that done and finished. We
Mhm.
see a lot of applications finally finished in the last week, so hopefully folks will get those submitted so we can have a look.
That's right.
But with that, I'll say thank you for being here today.
Thanks,
And
Rebecca.
yeah.
All right.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right. Take care. All right. In closing, I just want to once again thanks to Rebecca Delphia. Really appreciate her coming on. It's an honor to have her as our guest. As you mentioned earlier, the Community Challenge Grant, it truly is one of our favorite times of the year.
Yeah.
This application period, we get to learn about all the great things that are happening across the state and how we can support as many as possible. It's fantastic.
And this year we're super excited because we get to involve our volunteers from across the state a little bit more in the review process, and we're super excited about that. That's kind of a new component that we're trying this year to get more representation from all of our communities.
Totally. Diversity and the geography, and
we love Community
all
Challenge.
Sorts of things. It's awesome. Anyways, thank you for joining us today for the Inside Scoop with AARP Indiana. We like to wrap things up with a little recap and call to action. Don't forget that you can always sign up to become an e-activist with us. And what that does is you will receive action alerts for whenever there's an issue that we're working on at the local, state, or federal level that you're going to hear from us, prompting you to take some action. And then you can also sign up for text messages, as was featured there as well. And then you can also sign up for our event emails. So if we're hosting an event in your community, you'll more than likely be invited to come check it out. So you can register for those. Definitely encourage you to sign up for all three of those.
Yeah. Also, just to recap, if you are a nonprofit or a government entity and you liked what you heard today about Community Challenge and are thinking that you might want to apply, you can see a banner at the bottom of your screen that will tell you how to get to the Community Challenge website, which is aarp.org/community challenge. So if you head there, all the information is there. There's FAQs, the application is there, the dates, deadlines, you name it. And I think examples of previous award grant winners as well. So again, deadline March 4th, which is next week, next Wednesday. And lastly, if you have any specific questions about the Community Challenge and you're not sure whether your project would be applicable or if it would, eligible, then you can also email communitychallenge@aarp.org. You'll see it at the bottom of your screen. communitychallenge@aarp.org. And they can answer any of your questions related to the Challenge Grant Program. And with that, I think that's everything we have for today's episode. Thank you so much for joining us. And please remember to like and subscribe so that you don't miss our next episode coming out.
That's right. Later, alligators.
Thanks.